All your base are belong to us.
Hello and welcome to Fake Geek Girls, a podcast looking at nerdy pop culture from both a fan and critical perspective, encouraging the things we love to do better. I'm Missy, I'm a writer, and I read so many fucking books. I have been on a real reading journey lately.
Me too.
And so is Mary.
I'm Mary Marketer, and I have also read more books in the past couple months, I think, than I've read in 2 years. I left off at least 4 books because they weren't good. I'm don't even say the name because it's embarrassing.
I'm gonna be pretty brisk with my books because I did read quite a lot of them. And I think the thing we're gonna spend the most time talking about is probably the drama.
Yeah.
And then I'll try to be brief with the books that I read because again, there's a lot of them. I guess I'll go first.
Yeah,
but we did this together.
Yeah, we did.
So we went to see the drama. You know what? Actually, let's do the drama last.
Oh, okay.
And my reasoning for that is that if people haven't seen it and don't want it spoiled,
and it's going to be a long conversation.
It's going to be a longer conversation. So we were not going to talk about the drama right now. Instead, I'm going to talk about Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, which is the latest of the Hunger Games in the Hunger Games series. And this one is a prequel. It's about Haymitch. And I have been, first of all, I haven't read or seen the Hunger Games movies in probably a decade.
Missy and I just talked about this, and I said the movies are so good.
Yeah.
They hold up like great. I love them.
I haven't seen them, and I know I haven't seen the last one since it came out because it was an interesting viewing experience in that somebody was repeatedly vomiting in the theater, and I have a horrible phobia of vomit.
It really sounded like you said, I have a homophobia.
I have a homophobia of vomit.
Those who vomit are homos.
Yeah, that's what
I'm phobic.
That's what I'm always saying. Mary kindly tried to tell me that the person repeatedly vomiting was in fact just spilling soda on the ground.
I remember 0 of this.
But they weren't. They were barfing.
I don't know. They might have been.
No, they weren't.
They had a lot of soda.
They had a lot of soda, and they just kept spilling it over and over. I have never had particularly strong feelings for Haymitch, or about Haymitch. I'm just like, he's a guy. He's there. I don't really care. I loved Haymitch in this book. I'm a proud convert. I love Haymitch. Haymitch lover. He was a really great protagonist, I think, especially. So this one takes place at I don't remember. They do a double reaping. So it's like 4 people from each district.
They're always doing stuff.
And in this case, it was a double reaping. And a bunch of shit went down at the District 12 reaping. And Haymitch wasn't supposed to be picked, but then he was picked. And he gets sent and some other stuff happens. And then he just is immediately, a bunch of stuff happens that pisses him off beyond belief. And he does a bunch of ill-advised shit on camera or directly at President Snow. And that endeared him to me immensely. And then he decides to play up this rascal persona when he does the interviews and stuff. But at the same time, he is working with some familiar characters, including Beatty, who is, I believe, in book 2.
Don't look at me. I don't know.
Well, you watched the movies more recently.
I know the name, but I can't think of it.
Okay, well,
How do you spell it?
Beettee. He's working.
Oh, yes, this guy.
Yeah, he's working with Beatty to try to sabotage the games and make a huge impact. And I had a good time reading this one. I really enjoyed Haymitch's character. I liked the game in this one, the conceit of the games was pretty cool. It was interesting.
What was it?
It was a lot of poison.
Ah, yes, poison.
A lot of poison. And poison in places you don't expect. There's poisons everywhere.
You get poison. Yeah,
pretty much, yeah. There's a lot of poisoning happening. And then essentially all of the tributes that aren't the careers unionize against the careers. It was pretty fun.
So you love a unionized storyline.
It was fun. I overall really enjoyed this book. Except the romance, which I found so boring. And I think it worked for me. I didn't actually read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I didn't even realize it came out. I did see the movie though, and the movie was maybe the world's okayest movie. Like, it was truly a movie that I've seen.
Yes. It had some cool things.
It had some good moments, and then it had a lot of really dreary, boring stuff.
I really could not stand the need to tie it in.
That's one of the problems I had with Sunrise on the Reaping.
We don't need to tie it in.
That was one of the problems I had with Sunrise on the Reaping, too. So I was like, okay, we don't need a cameo from everybody. Katniss's dad, I don't need him. But I didn't love the romance in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and I didn't read the book. I really did not like it in this one, and I think part of the problem was that they were apart for the whole we meet them and they're already in love with each other, and then they're apart for the whole book, and I'm just like, I don't know, this isn't adding anything for me. There's nothing about this romance that is.
She said, I gotta add some.
Yeah, I was just like, this isn't adding anything that couldn't be accomplished through another means. And like, I didn't find the female character particularly compelling. I think especially because she reminded me so much of the one from Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, because I think they're related or they're from the same family or something. And it was just like, I don't need this. But overall, I did really enjoy the book. And if you like The Hunger Games, if you want more of Suzanne Collins being completely transparent about her politics to the point that she's invoking Hume, you can't go wrong with this one. You know? Like, I
love that for her.
She's still she's a strong writer. I love how transparent she is. I really feel like there are elements of The Hunger Games that like echo Animorphs in terms of its like transparency, where it's just like, you're saying what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I like how you're saying it.
It didn't feel like a money grab?
No.
Because that's how I feel in the first one. I'm like, are we really going back?
No, it didn't. Because I did feel in this case, it was nice to see the history of resistance and to see how the failure of resistance fucking broke Haymitch.
I see.
I found that very interesting. Just like Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, how do you go from being a person to being President Snow?
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. And I think it's a question worth asking, especially because President Snow is no matter...
The worst.
He's the worst. No matter how sympathetic you find him in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, he still becomes President Snow. She's doing things with these stories that need to be done with these kinds of stories. And I think that's why they don't feel like money grabs to me. I didn't care for the romance in either of them. There are certain elements of them I don't love. The constant cameos, that kind of thing, doesn't do it for me. But I still think these are stories worth telling and expanding upon in this universe.
That's good.
So I like I said, I think that Sunrise on the Reaping, I keep getting them mixed up in my head. I thought Sunrise on the Reaping was a good book and I still enjoyed it. Do you want me to do another one?
Yeah.
Okay. I also read The Dream Hotel by Laila Lalami.
You liked this one. I feel like
my God.
I heard you talk about this 7 times.
This book fucking haunted me. I do want to say right off the top that I was talking to my therapist and I was like, yeah, I stayed up late reading last night. And my therapist was like, oh, were you at least reading something comforting? And I was like, no, I was reading The Dream Hotel. So The Dream Hotel takes place in like a very near future where, I'll talk about the character specifically. So it's about this woman who she's returning from like a conference in England to the US and she has to go through customs.
This is the near future?
It's the near future.
Okay.
She like very near future. She's coming through customs at the US or the TSA or whatever. It would be customs, border control, etc. And she has an implant it was originally designed for some purpose, but for her, she uses it so that she can sleep less. And it's good. It's supposed to be like good for parents, like new parents and that kind of stuff, so that you get like a more restful sleep. But then everybody starts using it.
Yeah, because of course
they will. However, being made by a corporation, it is harvesting data that is then sold to the government. And in this version of the near future, it's sort of, I think it's Minority Report. I haven't actually seen Minority Report, but it's like sort of crime prevention. And in this case, they read her dream data and find that she has had a dream that might be construed as a threat. And therefore she gets held and then sent to the Dream Hotel, which is I think what the people who live there call it, but it's basically pre-prison. It's like, we suspect you might be capable of doing a crime, therefore you have to come stay here for I think it's 28 days. And at the end of 28 days, if you don't commit any more thought crimes or do anything else wrong, you get to go free. However, that never works. Nobody ever gets to go after 28 days. So over the course,
imagine that.
I know, over the course of this book, you learn a lot more about how fucking insidious the technology and data harvesting and all of that in this world is, and how fucking close it is to ours, and how simply we could slip into this future.
Ooh, I hate it.
Yeah, like the idea of a thing that would let you sleep less, so appealing. Like,
it is really appealing.
So appealing. And it's like,
I mean, how when you say sleep less, how much sleep are they getting?
I think it's like, I can't remember. Less than I need for sure.
I'm curious if it's how much I get.
It might be what you get or a little less.
6 to 6.5.
Yeah, I think it
6.5.
I want to say it's like 4 to 6, but it's been a while since I read the book now, so
Okay.
I'm not 100%.
4 is
sure.
hard on me.
Yeah,
4 is hard on me.
So she's in the Dream Hotel in this prison, pre-prison, along with a bunch of other inmates. There's some other. I don't want to spoil anything. It's been like a couple months now since I read it. But this book was great. It was really, really good. It was so stressful. One of the parts that really got me was when she was being interrogated about at like the border control, they were asking like, do you know why you're being detained? And she's like, no, I have no idea. And they're like, what about your cousin? He committed a crime. And she's like, I didn't commit a crime. My cousin did. And they're like, well, did you know that when you have a family member that commits a crime, that makes you X amount more likely to commit a crime yourself? And then I'm thinking of all of my family members that have committed crimes. And I'm like, I'd be so fucked in this world. Also, my dreams are so fucked up as it is. So
yeah, I'd be pretty mundane. I have pretty mundane dreams.
yeah,
I don't know if anyone's really committed a crime that I know of in my family.
I've got some to spare.
Even like my great grandfather, he left Germany, so that's good.
But overall, it was a great book, and I think it's very straightforwardly written.
I think that's good in situations that are like so dire.
Yeah,
we need you to understand this.
Yeah. And I did a lot of reading of this one at a train station, and there's like an outbreak of norovirus in the book, and I was reading it so intensely that I was then scared at the train station that I was going to catch norovirus, and I was like, no, wait, this is a book that I'm reading. But yeah, it was really good. If any of that sounds appealing, I definitely recommend it. It's just it's one of those things that I think we should be aware of. How much are we willing to turn over to for the sake of convenience?
I do feel like at least the popular front-facing is changing. The data centers, I think, is pushing people over the edge because it is so clearly affecting a lot of places.
Right.
The more data centers that pop up, the more people are realizing, hey, this is bad. And then people saying, I do not want a data center.
It's so fucking funny that people hated Eddington. It's so funny that people hated Eddington.
Bob liked it.
Mary, watch Eddington.
Okay. Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I'll get Bob to watch it.
With that in mind, watch Eddington.
Okay.
I do think, I don't know. I think on one hand, there's pushback against certain elements, but then there's also like, we cannot detach ourselves from our personal surveillance devices.
Well, there's also a lot of money behind people saying you cannot detach yourself from these things we're creating. I think that's the hard part. Is that there's a lot of money. We're going into the situation where the people running the government are tech people.
Yeah,
that's the hard part right now, and we can only hope that
everybody reads The Dream Hotel.
We can only hope everybody reads The Dream Hotel
and asks themselves some important questions about how much you're willing to trade.
Yes, this is so true.
But yeah, The Dream Hotel is really good.
I watched Off Campus, and
is that out? Like, is it all done?
Yeah, they've released it all at once.
Do you think I would like it?
I was actually thinking about this. I think if you needed a moment to detach from the world,
okay,
you would like most of it.
Okay.
So here's the thing. So Off Campus is based off of a hockey romance series that was released, I think it started releasing in 2015 or something. I've read the first one at least, which is called The Deal. And it is about a girl who, I'm just going to talk about the show because I've talked about the book in the past, a long time ago. And she likes in the movie, she likes a guy who is a musician. She's also a musician. She's going to school. They're all in college. She's going to school for classical composition, and she's really in love with this guy named Justin. And he's like brooding, dark-haired musician who does really mundane, bad covers of songs. And and she's really smart. And there's a hockey player who's like, you got a really good score on that test, and I need you to help me pass. And if you help me pass, I will help you get this guy. And guess what? They fall in love. and they fall in love like halfway through. So like we don't even have this, like there's some people complain there's not enough yearning. I just don't think that's what this is about.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't
not all romance is yearning romance.
Yes. There's plenty of it. I feel like within the few episodes we have. Here's what I think this show does well. You want a green flag guy? We got 5 of them. You want to not think about how horrible men can be? You can think about that for 80%. There is a huge, huge, huge trigger warning. There's not a rape scene, but she is a survivor of sexual assault in which she told her family went to go pursue through the legal process, and he was the son of the mayor, and her whole family, it completely backfired on her. Family lost their job, their house. She can't even go back. And she has a lot of PTSD around that. That's how they meet. That's how they form. He forms an attachment to her because he catches her dancing and singing to, I think, The Bitch Is Back by Elton John. And he loves like classic rock, and because of course he does. These people are millennials also. Like they are, like in the book, they are straight millennials. And I think that if you are a millennial, you will see like, oh, those are millennials that I'm watching. Mm-hmm. They're played by millennials. But I think, in my opinion, they are still they're, like I said, they're in the frat. There is a clearly stolen detour sign. Mm-hmm. Who stole signs off the side of the road? Millennials. But anyway, so they fall in love, and he's the most green flag man you can ever experience. He does the, like, you know, when you're reading a book and like his jaw twitched, he does it. You know, when you read a book and it's like his eyes got black, he did it. Like all these things that like he does that. It's like people are like the acting is so bad, whatever. But you know what he does well? All those little
like the
things.
physical things.
Yeah, he does them all so well. And like. They're just the most green flag men of all time, which is so not what hockey players seem to be.
Yeah.
And frat boys. Right. So it is a complete made up fantasy world.
Yeah.
And I've seen some people get annoyed by that. And I was like, that is just not what this is. There is like realness, like with the sexual assault.
Right.
But, there's a point. There's a couple points that can really show this. Like she can't come with other men because of her PTSD. She can do it on her own. And she's like, this is before they get together. She's like, I need you to have sex with me. I need you to make me come because I'm going to go see Justin, the guy. And I'm pretty sure he wants to hook up and I need to be able to do this. And so he's like, okay, let's plan for this day. He goes to his other friend who is Sweet Baby Boy Dean. I love him. You will also probably love him. He is a whore and amazing. And he's like, this stays between us. How do I pleasure? How do I make someone come? He's like, well, she's probably not going to if it's her first time. He's like, that's not an option. She has to. And everyone's like, oh, that's so wonderful. and then Sweet Baby Dean is like, well, there's one thing you can do that will do it every single time. Trust. Make sure consent is, everyone's like, this is great. This is wonderful. From the slutty boy. There is a wonderful scene that we all knew was coming where the guy, you find out that his team is going to play another team. It's like the big rivals. And she hears who their new main guy is. I don't know hockey. And it's the guy who raped her. And she's freaking out. She's also trying to write a song for like, she lost her scholarship and she's trying to write a song for this like competition and she's like blocked or whatever. A lot more to that, but that's the sentence. She's coming to realize, oh, maybe I actually do need to go back to when I used to write music because she stopped writing music after the sexual assault. And she hears he's going to be there. So she's not there. She's always been, he's having a hard time. His dad's there. His dad's an abuser. That's another big trigger warning is his dad is abusive. You don't see it, but it's heavily talked about. And he's having a hard time and she's not there and she won't answer her phone or text messages. And he's freaking out. He's having a complete like breakdown. He's throwing things. He's getting really aggressive. He goes off. It's actually, I think, the room that he originally saw her in. And she finally is like, I have to go. Like, this is going to be hard for me, but it'll be like, I should go. And she goes in there and like, I feel like most women watching it were thinking he's going to yell at her, but he doesn't. He's like, I was so worried about you. And she's like, oh, it's fine. I was dealing with something. He's like, are you okay? And she's like, no, it's fine. He's like, oh, okay, just let me know you're okay. So he's like, okay, I'm so happy. Like, you're back. And he feels better. She goes out there. She's like, do a good job, guy. And he's like, yeah. He goes out there. They do their little puck thing where they go and they meet each other. And they're like, I'm going to get you. And he's like, the other guy, the rapist, is like, he doesn't know that that's him. Garrett doesn't know that's him. And he says, you know, it was really fun playing with you. He's like, okay, yeah, whatever. And he had seen him hugging her. And the rapist guy goes, but you know what's going to be even better? He's like, what? He goes, beating you in front of that lying slut. And Garrett, everything's in slow motion, stands up, looks over at her. She's like, you can tell she realized what happened. She's like shaking her head, like very slightly, like no. And there's this moment where he drops the hockey stick, but the way he drops it, while you do that, I'm gonna pull this up so I can show you if maybe I'm the only one who feels this way about how he drops the hockey stick, but it's more sexual than anything I've ever seen. I'm sure I can find it because it's 700 times of, okay, here's this. Also, everyone's like, it's clear you can compare this to Heat of Rivalry, but they are very different. But everyone wants to use the tattoo song. But let me set the scene. This is when he's like, she's a lying slut. The way he tosses that hockey stick, I don't know what it is. It does something to me. But here we go. That's him. Just the way of like, I fucking don't care. And he beats the shit out of him. Just beats the shit out of him. And through the show, he's really worried about becoming his father. His father was abusive to his mother and him. She goes and finds him afterwards and he's like, I don't want to talk about it. She's like, you can't do that. Anyone who I've told this to, it's ruined their lives. Now you're going to get in trouble. It's going to ruin your life. And he looks at her and he says, I could meet him 100 times and every fucking time I'd beat the shit out of him. And the way that he nods his head also does something to me. And it's just like, it's just so...
Mary's taking her shirt off.
I know.
That's how
my God.
Sorry, not her shirt, her jacket. Mary's just completely disrobing in the middle of the
I saw
podcast.
someone do that because they got so overwhelmed that their boyfriend got them a puppy. It's very cute. But it's like, it's so indulgent.
Mm-hmm.
It's so indulgent and fun. And they made a lot of really good changes. I think the show is better than the book. I would never suggest the book to you ever in a million years. But the things they changed, like the main issue in the book was like, the dad was going to cut him off, and they took that away because now hockey players can make endorsement deals. Let me tell you, this is sponsored by Liquid IV. They let you know every episode. Maybe if you had some Liquid IV, you'd feel better. There's a whole thing. But one of the other things they changed is in the book, there's a hands off. They break up, and he says a hands off to everyone. No one can touch her. And they do that in this, but it turns out it's not him. It's just some stupid guy who made a dumb joke. And so like they took away some of the misogyny that was in there, but it doesn't feel like we have to make this more woke. It's just not the character that they've put in here. They add a non-binary character. They take out a brother and add a non-binary character, Jules, who's great. I like Jules. I don't know how other people feel. Anyways, it's good. You want to watch it? I'll watch it with you.
Okay.
You want to? I'll watch it with you. I already started rewatching it. It's just so indulgent. Is it good? Like, if you want to compare it to Heat of Rivalry looks better,
mm-hmm.
acted better, much better, like dealing with hard things.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what this is about.
Yeah.
This is about, I want to watch some hot boys take off their shirt and say, I like going down on you. You want that? You want me to beat the shit out of this man who sexually assaulted you and ruined your life? I'll do it 100 fucking times every time. Oh, it's so good. Anyways, and I liked the song that she made in the end. I thought it was really interesting. They changed that part. Anyways, Off Campus. I think I liked it. And if you want to watch it, anyone, I'll watch it with you. It's just so indulgent. It's just like if you want to read the most indulgent green flag men you've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait.
Now she's punching the microphone. She's overcome.
Almost at the most important part. Dean and Allie. They're going to be next season. I don't even know. Have you seen the video of them dancing? I have seen
nothing. You must know I only look at the only social media I look at is Tumblr, where I follow 6 people. I don't think any of whom are watching this show. And whatever you send me on Instagram.
Let me find. So there's this scene. Allie is Hannah's best friend, and Dean is one of the hockey players. Is also the friend of Garrett's that said like trust and consent are important. He's also a big hoe bag in like the best way. Let's see if I can find. They're at a party, and the party is like dynamic duos. Allie goes with her boyfriend dressed as J-Lo and Ben Affleck, and she's like, "You forgot your cup. You need to go get your cup, or no one's gonna understand your Dunkin' cup." So she goes and she starts dancing. I gotta find it's gotta be everywhere. Hold on. Here's a video of it, but that's just a very small video of a video. He's like, "Who is that?" That's not. Why are there so many? Look, there's so many videos of smaller videos. Anyways, they have this insane chemistry, and they're set up for the next season. And it's set up like all this stuff, and then this is huge spoilers. She tells him, "You need to sleep with someone because I don't want to get attached. I just got out of a relationship." He's like, I didn't finish the assignment. And she's like, "You have to finish the assignment because I did." And a guy walks in, and she's like, "Oh shit!" And he looks and he goes, "Him?" And then they get in a fight. Beautiful. Cinema. Anyways, I think I liked it.
I read Scotch on the Rocks by Elliot Fletcher.
A little different.
It's not that different. No, I don't. This is not the kidney one.
Oh, I thought this was the kidney one.
The kidney one's next. Scotch on the Rocks.
It's like, wait a second.
No. I don't remember where I heard of this book, but I wanted a fun romance to read while I was on vacation. And this one delivered. So
you told me about
this. This is a romance novel set between 2 Scottish people, which is so important that you know that. That's why it's called Scotch on the Rocks. It's about this woman. I don't remember their names anymore. I read this like a month ago. The female character is kind of a bitchy alt girl who runs a bed and breakfast with her adoptive mother, and her mother goes on vacation, and this woman was previously dating this man.
Not a man.
Or they were engaged, and he suddenly broke it off with her. And it's not really revealed why he suddenly broke it off with her. But before that, the male character met her on a train and instantly fell in love with her, shows up to a family event, and is like, "Shit, she's engaged to my brother."
Oh no.
And they're going about their business for a while, and then the brother breaks up with her, and then they're at some party where they both happen to be there, and they like are so close to hooking, like literally like in the parking lot, dress hiked up, just got out of the car, ready to go. And then he's like, "I can't do this. You were engaged to my brother."
Oh.
And then like 5 years pass.
Oh no.
And they're always running into each other because they live in like a small Scottish town, and he's beloved by everybody.
Oh no.
Because he's a veterinarian, and he's always helping other people out. And so he's beloved by everybody, and she finds him so fucking annoying because she's like, I can't. She's mad at him about the almost hooking up thing. She's mad at him about the way that he's like beloved by everybody. She's mad at him about everything under the sun. But they don't really hate each other. It's just like this low grade annoyance with each other all the time. And then naturally events occur that kind of push them together, which is that she decides that while her adoptive mother is out of town on vacation, she's going to renovate the bed and breakfast in a way that she hopes will like bring in more business. And she hires a plumber. The plumber fucks up really bad and floods everything. And he's the best one to fix it. And she's like, okay, how much do I owe you? And he's like, you don't owe me anything. And she's like, I have to owe you something. And he's like, fine. You don't know anything about this place that you've lived for your whole life. So I'm gonna let you be a tourist, and you have to go on dates with me to these different tourist areas. And it was delightful.
Sure it's on my to be read.
It was delightful. What a fun book.
I love that.
I loved it. It was so much fun. And I have my biggest problem with romance is I cannot stand alpha male dominant man things. I cannot. I can't do it. It's a huge turnoff to me. If you want to learn more about that, you can go listen. You can subscribe to our Patreon and find our what did we call that?
I don't know.
Our romance. Our dirty book club thing where we were just talking about whatever horny books we were reading. This is not that, I will say, with a capital T-I-N-T. Tint. This is not that. It's not like hardcore BDSM or anything like that. It's just like this. Are the dynamics switched? I wouldn't say it's necessarily switched. It's just that this man likes to have his hands tied up.
Oh, okay.
And he likes this woman to bully him a little bit.
Okay.
It's not like degrading or really intense.
It's just a little fun.
It's just like he likes her personality as it is, and her personality is
I'm going to bully you and tie you up.
Exactly.
And it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. And so I appreciated that as somebody who is completely turned off by the dominant alpha male thing. So I got to have a fun time reading a romance novel where I was just like, oh, thank God, you're not going to hit me in the middle of it with like, all right, get on your knees for daddy or something like that. Because I can't
read that.
I can't fucking take it. I can't do it. It shoots me out. I have to put stuff down when it gets there.
We're just done.
We're done. I can't recover from this because I'm always going to be thinking about the fact that he said that, and I can't get
It'll never get out of your brain. It's etched in with like a stick.
Yeah, I can't do it. So anyway, I had a great time with Scotch on the Rocks. Definitely recommend it if like anything about that is appealing to you. There are more books in the series. The problem is that like and I like the characters. There's 3 of these brothers. And the second book is about a different brother. They're the brother, not the one that dumped the main character.
The third brother.
But the third brother. And I just don't find him as interesting as I found this guy.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those where I'm like,
nothing wrong with him. I just don't find him as compelling, and I don't find the thing is I loved the female character in this one. Like I loved her.
But it's about the brothers.
This is about the brothers. Okay. So I loved her.
But at least then
more bitchy women in romance fiction. So,
oh yeah,
but it was really enjoyable.
That sounds fun.
Should I do another one?
Sure.
I read. Now this is a completely different note. Also on vacation, I read "Kiss Me, Judas" by Will Christopher Baer. We could not be in more different territory. I can't even sum this book up. I'm gonna go. So this book again. Don't know where I found this one, but this book is about. It's a neo-noir, a bit psychedelic in terms of how the story is being told. It's about this man who just gets out of the mental hospital.
As one does, and immediately goes out, has a few drinks, runs into a beautiful woman who's like, take me home. And he's like, okay. And then she's like, give me $200. And he's like, oh, I didn't know this was that kind of thing. And she's like, is it going to stop you? And he's like, no. They go to a room. He wakes up in the bathtub with a horrible pain in his side. The woman has stolen his kidney. And the rest of the book is a question. Does he want to kill her or is he in love with her? Hard to say.
I love that. This is not a romance book. I cannot stress that enough. This is not a romance. This is again, semi-psychedelic noir. The prose is very sparse. Until it isn't. I thought this is kind of a hard sell, I think. Well, okay, first of all, the content in this needs a lot of trigger warnings. There's intense.
You wouldn't tell anyone to read it.
Absolutely not. I, in fact, would not recommend this book to most people. You have to be willing to not know what the fuck's going on because the protagonist doesn't know what the fuck's going on. He is drugged out of his mind. He's severely injured and has 12 infections. And he's detached from reality as it is. But there's also there's graphic violence. I mean, somebody gets their kidney stolen in like page 3. There's also sexual assault, and it's unclear who the assaulter is, and it is not just implied, it is said at times that it is the protagonist that did it. Spoilers, it wasn't. But again, he's so detached from reality that he doesn't know if he did it or not. He's like, I don't think I would do that, but also sometimes I have this intrusive memory that I did do it. So,
and I'm drugged up and
have mental problems. So, it's so darkly funny. One of my favorite parts of it was this man is walking around with 12 infections, following this woman who may or may not have his kidney in an ice chest. They're getting on a train together. I think this is when they're getting on the train together. And he's like, I went to the bar and I ordered an orange juice and vodka because I figured I could use a vitamin. And I was like,
those are the depths of mental health. Like, that's the depths of a mental illness. You're in the trenches.
He's in the trenches. Like I said, the prose is really sparse in a way that like might remind you of something like Hemingway in terms of how straightforward it is, but then like it'll go like really deep into a metaphor in a way that I found really fun and exciting as a reader and as a writer. Overall, I loved this book. Like I legitimately loved this book.
Was this the one that have wild covers?
Yes, the covers are really bad. They're like really, really bad. But like I said, I loved this book. It is a really hard one to recommend. There's almost nobody where I would immediately be like, yeah, you should read this book. Because I can't think of anybody who is the target demographic for it, except maybe me.
Maybe you.
Maybe me. But I loved it. I thought it, again, when I say something is fun, you need to know that I don't use the word fun in a way that I think most people use the word fun.
It got your brain going.
I had a blast reading this book. I don't know that that's the right word to describe it, but I really enjoyed it.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
I read Alchemized. So, many people probably know what this book is. This is originally based off of a Hermione fan fiction. It's like one of the most beloved. I think it's the second most read on AO3. Turned into the longest book of all time. It is about what if... I'm going to use this in terms of Harry Potter because I think it just makes it easier to understand. Mm-hmm. Essentially, is what if Voldemort won? Like, what if Voldemort won? What would the world look like? Alchemized is much more junk science-y and religion. So they take magic and it's
I think I've heard it described as like Harry Potter meets like The Handmaid's Tale, right?
It's literally, part of it is literally The Handmaid's Tale. Okay. So it is a fan fiction of Harry Potter almost just as much as it's a fan fiction of Handmaid's Tale in 2 of the 3 parts. It's broken up into 3 parts. The bulk of it being part 2. The first part is the one I have you read where it's like almost impossible to read. It's insane. And so they basically took the magic and said like, what if we made magic science and religion? And I can't even go into really what this whole book is about. It's basically, what if that happened and Draco was fighting the good fight and met Hermione and said, made a deal, said, I'll help the good guys if you let me have Hermione. And like once a week she goes there to, I don't know what she does, what she goes there for, but they end up meeting like once a week and falling in love. It is a brutal book about war and love and war. People say it, anyone who tells you it's a romance is a liar. And I think that for the most part now, no one's going to recommend it as a romance because I think it's just so widely read. And so like people know this is not a romance. This is a tragic book about war.
I will note we were at the bookstore yesterday and it was not shelved in romance.
Yeah,
it was shelved in sci-fi fantasy.
And that's exactly what it is. I think that it's so popular enough now that it's clear that that's just not, there is a romance in it. But it is a deeply fucked up book.
Right.
But I did not react to it the same way everyone else did. I did not feel devastated by it. I was literally, so I finished it on Mother's Day. For Mother's Day, I wanted to do nothing. And so my husband was like playing with my kid. I said, I'm going to listen to this book. I'm going to finish it. And if you look over and I'm crying, it's fine. I ended the book and he's like, you're done? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you're not crying. I'm like, I sure am not. Here, I'm gonna spoil some of this. These are insane spoilers. This is the end of the book. So if you don't want these spoilers, you need to tune out now. I expected to be devastated by this book. I'm like, he's dying. There's either, honestly, to me, the most devastating is he would live and she would die. Like, that would be really devastating. They both live. Not only do they both live, they have a child, unfortunately brought about by rape. That's a whole other thing. Who also lives and goes on to live a pretty great life with her fucking flying dog. It is sad. It is a story of war. But my first thought was, have these people not read Animorphs? Like, this is much more brutal than Animorphs in some ways. But I just wasn't as, it just felt like there is a scene, at the very end, there's a picture, and it's a picture that's taken like halfway through the book where everyone has an optimism except for her because she knows what's going to happen. Essentially, through the whole war, her and Kane, who's Draco, are basically the catalyst in what ends up ending the war. Like, they give up a lot of things, they sacrifice a lot of things, they go through a lot of pain, and they really are at the crux of what ends this war. And there's a picture at the end where their daughter is reading a book about the war. This is years and years after. He has to be like, he has to hide away because he was, in this world, he is seen as almost just as bad as like Voldemort. Like he is, and the thing is he killed many, many, many people. And he told her, if something happens to you, I will flatten this world. And he does. And at the end, there's a picture of her, and it's like Helena and so-and-so and Ron and Harry, pictured at a party. She was a nurse. She did not fight. And like, that's sad.
Mm-hmm.
People feel so devastated by it. And like, I'm like, that's a really like interesting way to end this. It did not devastate me. I don't know. Have I read too much fucked up shit to be like, yeah, that's sad. I don't know. I just don't, I just wasn't as I was like, I'm prepared to be devastated.
I do think, and I haven't read this book.
Yes, I know.
So I don't want to pass judgment on a book that I have not read.
You would not like it.
There is nothing about it that sounds even remotely interesting to me.
No.
I do think that I'm skeptical of the idea of desensitization when it comes to like, oh, I've read so many upsetting, devastating books that I can no longer be upset by them. I think you need something that emotionally invests you. And it sounds to me like this book did not get you hooked in the necessary way.
I think that the reason why it worked so well for people for fan fiction is because that was, and we've talked about this before, that hook of the emotional is already built in.
Yes. I
did not feel too much emotionally invested in these people, despite it being 1,000 pages. But I do, like, there's a lot going on. This is as much as it is about people, it is a plot heavy.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad book. I think it's a good book. But people are putting it at like their best reads of the year. They're putting it at like one of the book that changed everything for them. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that got me in a different, I think I was ready for something that just, it wasn't.
Right.
I didn't dislike it, but I'm not sitting here thinking about it weeks later.
Right.
Like a lot of people are. But I think
not like me with the Kidney Thief book.
No, you're still going off about that.
I'm still going off about the Kidney Thief book.
No, I cried more off campus.
Yeah.
But yeah,
things hit people differently.
Yes.
And because like there are books that devastate other people that did nothing for me.
If you haven't read a horrible, sad story about war, I can understand. Like, and it is graphic, and it is sad, and it is intense, and it is by no means a walk in the park.
Right. It didn't hit for you.
It didn't hit for me.
The things they carried.
You're so right.
to make a really apt comparison.
To be fair, though, let me be fair. In the beginning of things they carry, they really make you feel like you're carrying all that shit.
Yeah.
In the beginning of this book, the writing makes you feel like, what the fuck is going on? Which is how she feels. It is a very good representation of like, what the fuck is happening? Where the fuck am I? What the fuck? How have I lost 14 months of my life? There's a lot of people so they get to part 1, they get to part 2, and then they go back and read part 1. because the end of part 2 is the beginning of part 1. And like, there's some pretty like upsetting things there. So like, she has a ring that he would use to call her she would go see him weekly because he was giving them like, he was spying. And he had this ring. He's like, you'll feel like a slight burn, not in a bad way, when I want you. She goes missing. She's in a cryo tube thing. And she's left to like stay alive through it. So she spent 14 months essentially they don't say how long, being electrocuted to make sure that her body doesn't like atrophy. And she can feel 2 things, the electrocution and then her ring going off over and over. And then you get to it, and he spent 14 months just searching everywhere for her, sending off the heat to the ring over and over and over again. Like that's good. I like that. Mm-hmm. I just don't know. I just didn't get into them emotionally as much. And I think part of it too is I had different expectations. Yeah. And so that kind of took me out of it a little bit. But I know people love it, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with loving it. It just didn't hit.
So everybody's different, and like I require emotional investment if I'm going to be emotionally devastated for the most part. There are some books that I've read that have made me cry, but I didn't actually feel anything for the characters. It was more so
I thought that's what was going to happen here. Mm-hmm. I thought it was going to be something terrible happens and I'm crying because the terrible thing has happened. So I give it that credit.
Right.
In that it didn't take an easy way out, and would have been very devastating, is she dies and he goes on to like raise their child. Mm-hmm. And that's so upsetting because he's a horrible person and she's the epitome of a good person. Mm-hmm. I thought that he expected to die, he tried to die, and she's like, no, the fuck you won't. Mm-hmm. So I give them props for that they wrote the book and didn't say like, this will devastate people.
Right.
They devastate people in other ways. But yeah, it was fine.
Nice. I read The Bewitching by Silvia Moreno-Garcia, who you probably know from Mexican Gothic. She's written a great number of other novels, but I do think Mexican Gothic is her most famous.
That's one of my favorite books.
It is good. I like this one, I think, more than Mexican Gothic.
Really?
I had some qualms with Mexican Gothic because it felt to me like an adult novel for a YA audience.
I remember this conversation.
I loved the plot. I loved the protagonist. I did not like the romance whatsoever. Mm. And it wasn't like I didn't like the male character. It was
I can't remember much of the romance.
He was like the good guy in the family of rich fuckos.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't like that.
You don't like a good guy?
I felt that it was a little too easy, you know, like Fair. It was a little too easy. This one was more complex than that, and I appreciated that. So this one is sort of a multi-generational horror story. It is centered on a character named Minerva, who is going to grad school and is writing a thesis on a fictionalized author named Beatrice Tremblay, who is probably an analog of someone like Shirley Jackson. She writes, she's more obscure than Shirley Jackson, but she wrote horror stories. And while I'm looking at the description on Amazon because it's been a while since I read this book. The main character, Minerva, finds out that one of her novel, like her most famous novel, was inspired by the real disappearance of the author's friend.
Oh, really?
This is within the book.
Oh, within the book.
Minerva.
Oh, wait.
The subject of Minerva's thesis.
I see.
Her most famous novel was inspired by the actual disappearance of her friend. And the further she gets into researching this, the more it becomes clear that there's something otherworldly going on. At the same time, we're also being told a story that takes place much earlier in 1900s Mexico, which is from the perspective of Minerva's great-grandmother, whose family also seems to be haunted by a similar, if not the same, otherworldly force. So it's, again, multi-generational. The story alternates between the grandmother, the great-grandmother, and then the more modern day, not 100% modern day, I think it takes place in the 90s, like late 90s, story about Minerva. I thought it was great. And this one, it has a similar, like, pitiable rich boy in it. But if there was a romance, I don't remember the end of it, which tells me that it wasn't super important to the story, which I appreciated. I mean, Mexican Gothic came out years and years ago. at this point. And I have 2 more of her books on my shelf that I still need to read. I have The Island of the Daughter of Dr. Moreau, and then I have Silver Nitrate, both of which I need to read. But I really liked this one. I think I liked it a lot because I'm so sorry to be that cliche bitch, but I'm so sorry. I do love like the dark academia thing. I fucking love it. Like, it really appeals to me.
I don't think that you're weird in saying that.
I'm not, but it's so corny.
I think it's literally only corny to you.
It's corny to me because it's a thing, and I hate to be associated with a thing.
A thing on Book Talk.
You can kill the not like other girls girl inside your head, but they will never truly die. And she's still in there, and she's making fun of me for liking dark academia. Yeah. But I do. So this one appealed a bit more to me.
That's what you were like the whole time.
Yeah, and I was reading it on a plane, so I was annoying everybody around me because I was like, but I don't know. I also just love school. I don't know if you know this about me.
Wow, really?
I love school, and I would go to school forever if it was free, but it's not. So I like to read about people going to school.
Live through them.
I'm living vicariously through this girl writing her thesis on an obscure horror author, something that I also would do. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really good. If anything about that appeals to you, it's worth checking out. We can probably start alternating at this point.
Think so. I read, this is about 2 books, but they're in the same series. So I read The Predator and not about the Predator. The Predator and the Reaper by Runix. And so here's how it came about. I had read like Lights Out, and I had read the other book in that series, and I'm like, no. And I was like, I need a truly bad guy. So I went on Instagram and looked up
bad guy.
And I got a bunch of like things that were like, read this book. So I started putting them in my Libby and whatever. And the one that kept coming up of like, oh, you've probably already read this one, or like, this is one of the best ones or whatever, was this book series. And so finally I got it. And guess what, guys? It's really good. It's like has like a real plot. It's not just about 2 people hooking up. It's not just about like a rich guy who's like, I claim you. I mean, he is. But
there's other stuff.
So the plot is, she is the daughter. She's the mafia princess, and he is, he's not the son of a head mafia guy, but he's essentially adopted into it. His best friend is the son of the mafia guy who's set to take over, and he's like the guy that gets it all done. He like, you know, if you see him, you know you're probably gonna die. She sneaks into a party at like his place, and she's like, you have a hard drive of code I wrote, and you're gonna give it back to me, or I'm gonna kill you. And because she had a boyfriend who stole it from her, who she's like, you made him pretend to like me and stole it from me, and now I need you to give it back, or I'm gonna kill you. And he's like, that's interesting. He's like, I don't have this. And she's like, no, you don't understand. This has something that will ruin all of our lives. Your family, my family, they're 2 mafia families that don't get along, because of course. And he's like, you can leave now. And she's like, what the hell? And then later he sees her in the restaurant her father brought her to, and he brought men because he's trying to marry her off, and he's a really cruel man. And the guy's like grabbing her. She's like grabs his hand and like twists and like, you will not be touching me that way. And then she goes to the bathroom. The guy shows up and he's like, I'm gonna fuck you now. And she's like, no, you're not. He's like, I think you're gonna want me to. And then they fuck, and it's like insane. But then it's like becomes like an obsession. Like he's like, I just need to get you out of me, but he never ever does. And it feeds into this bigger plot of their girls that went missing when they were younger. And she ended up being one of them, and his sister ended up being one of them, but she was the only one that was returned. So the real plot of this whole series, and like I don't know when it's finally resolved, because it has like 6 or 7 books. The first 2 are about this 2 couple. The third one is about the son. And then the other ones are about other people. But the real plot is 1, getting the hard drive that has this code in it that's going to destroy everything, and 2, figuring out why these girls went missing. And it doesn't seem to be for like what you would assume why a bunch of young, like 6-year-olds or younger and slightly older went missing, like a prostitution ring. It doesn't seem to be that, because she gets on like the dark web and she starts looking at like flesh trade and things like that. But told to her by this person named Reaper, who's like contacting through the dark web. And so like that's interesting, because it would be like in any other mafia romance, that is what it would be. But their dynamic is he's just a damaged man and like just so damaged, but he's like, but I like her and I sure do fucking hate it. And she's just really interesting. And it was just a really refreshing read for this genre. It's still very dark. It still gives you all the things that you want to read, but it just has a real plot. The plot is not, which I read this and I liked it, so don't get me wrong. I sell drugs. I like this girl. Someone stole her to get to my drugs. I must save her. I read that. It was great. But this is much more complicated, and the characters are much more fleshed out. And when I think about it, it doesn't bleed into all the other mafia books that I read. So if you are somebody who wants to read a mafia romance, I suggest that is the one you read. Check the trigger warnings though, because I don't think it's crazy, but a lot of these books start out with trigger warnings. Yeah. Which is fine. It's like
part and parcel for the genre.
Yeah, it is. And like some of it isn't like some of it is really important. If you really don't want to read about cannibalism, some of them are like, hey, there's cannibalism in this. And yeah, so but sometimes they like one of the trigger warnings for Alchemized that was really annoying was like, I think I said it to you. It was something like essentially a weird way of saying there'll be unreliable narrators here. And I'm like, that doesn't need to be a trigger warning. So sometimes the trigger warnings are like, if I'm reading a mafia romance, I'm pretty like, there's probably gonna be some sort of like reference to sexual assault or anything like that. A gun. Yes. There's probably gonna be at least one reference to it. I understand why trigger warnings are in a lot of these books specifically. I don't think they need to be in a lot of books.
The thing with trigger warnings in books, for me personally, has always been that you cannot possibly anticipate everything that will be triggering to a person. And I find it troublesome to put the onus on the author.
That's fair.
To do it.
That's fair. But in a
readers absolutely are entitled to look up content that might be distressing to them. Yeah. I 100% believe that. Putting the onus on the writer to provide a trigger warning for every potentially triggering thing.
Yeah, because some of them are silly.
That's an impossible ask.
Sometimes it's things like pregnancy, and that's not a trigger, really. That's like something that's
a content warning.
Yeah,
but it could be triggering for somebody, and that's where things get complicated. Is it's like, how can you anticipate? Because like a romance novel, a straightforward romance novel doesn't have to provide a trigger warning for pregnancy or a content warning for pregnancy. And that's where this kind of thing gets difficult. Again, I am not opposed in any way, shape, or form to trigger warning. Having the onus be on the author is a bit strange for me, but I do think that that's now an expectation for the dark romance genre.
And there's some fucked up stuff.
In a way that I think is probably serves the audience well.
I will say, there are plenty of times when I've seen trigger warnings, like, I think I'll like that book.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think
I'll like that book.
I don't think that's a wrong way to use a content warning. I would phrase it in that case as a content warning, not a trigger warning. But I think actually in many cases, content warning is a more useful term than trigger warning.
You're right. And it's probably oftentimes called content warning. But yeah, in most dark romances I read, there those warnings are there. And there are plenty of times I'm like, I think I'm going to check that book out.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that's a wrong.
Yeah. Anyways, it was really good, and if you're at all interested in mafia dark romance, this is a really good one. So better than most I've read.
I read Godzilla Rivals Jaguar versus Megalon by my friend Nola Pfau and Megan Huang, which is a completely standalone issue of Godzilla Rivals, which is, I think, I have not read the rest of the series. I am incredibly biased and only read the one by my friend. I also don't know anything about the Godzilla universe besides the fact that it's Godzilla and Mothra is there. And so I went into this with so little knowledge of Godzilla, and I had a great time. This is about, I'm so sorry, I don't remember off the top of my head the name of the main character. But it's this young woman who,
Godzilla.
this young woman, Godzilla. Actually, Godzilla's not in it that much.
Oh, okay.
It's about this young woman who, she is working like kind of a shitty job, and she has had like she's had experiences with like suicidal ideation, and she is like trying to like build her life back up. There's a Godzilla attack where she is, and she ends up like in a basement with this robot who is Jet Jaguar. I don't know fuck or shit about Jet Jaguar. I'd never heard of this character. But she ends up like
fucking him.
No. Oh. Putting Jet Jaguar back together, and like
by fucking him.
Not by fucking. Not by fucking.
Huh. I don't think I'd like this.
And there's this really beautiful like metaphor at the center of like rebuilding and becoming something new. I thought it was lovely, and it's by my friend, so you should read it. It is collected in, I think, a Godzilla Rivals trade. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head which volume it is. But if you like Godzilla or Jet Jaguar or beautiful stories of rebuilding and
but not
resilience,
robot fucking.
There is no fucking in this one.
I'll have to talk to Nola about that.
Sorry to report. She does not fuck. She does not fuck Jet Jaguar. Also, I didn't know. Like I said, I don't know anything about Jet Jaguar, and so reading the whole thing, I was like genuinely surprised, page by page. I was like, "Oh, I didn't know it could do that." I was like, "Whoa, Jet Jaguar is really big all of a sudden."
So it was a good time.
Yeah, I had a really good time reading it. Definitely recommend. And not just because it's by my friend. You should read it.
Cool. I read the first 2 Emily Wilde books by Heather Fawcett. So it's Encyclopedia of Fairies and
I Converted Mary.
The first book was the second book's good too, and I'm on the third book, and the third book is all right. But the first book was like kicking my feet, like oh my god, true. I finished it in like 2 days. I was listening to it, and I finished it in 2 days. It's like 13 hours. I listened to things at least 1.3, but it's like everything, like when they take like she clearly read like Howl.
Absolutely.
And she took
Wendell is so Howl coded.
Yes. And she took everything that is like subtly like they're in love and was like, no, here, it's not subtle. Yeah. It's not subtle.
It's very much a book for adults. I talked about it a while ago, the first book at least, and it's catnip to me because it's like crotchety academic. Emily's not a bitch, but she's a little bit of a bitch.
She's a bitch in the most academic, like she is a logical bitch.
Yeah, I love her.
She's logically bitchy.
I love her. And Wendell is like the world's biggest dipshit and also a terrifying fairy.
He's not as terrifying enough in the later ones. That's my biggest...
He's not.
Like in the first one, there's like some people who slightly threaten her life and he's like, oh, snap their neck.
Yeah.
I literally think I messed up. Like, he just snapped the neck of a bunch of fairies. This is the most romantic thing so far. It was so, like, it's just like, it is, I finally ended up picking it up. It had been on my list to read for it because Missy was like, you would like this. And I saw someone like asking for books of where fairies are actually bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of books, fairies are not actually that bad. And someone's like, Emily Wilde. I still don't think they're bad enough.
No. I think something interesting that she does, and I think particularly her approach and her use of Emily as a character, is that Emily is an academic and she's approaching fairies from a very neutral perspective. Yes. She
can be just as bad.
Absolutely. That's why they make a great pair. Her complete detachment from some people's suffering.
She's like, how can I write a paper on this?
Absolutely. And I love that. I absolutely love that. But I think that having Emily as a protagonist serves it so well because you do have like downright nasty evil fairies. Yes. And then you have more complex ones.
Yes.
So there's a real breadth to the types of fairies represented, which is a lot of fun.
Yes.
And Emily's academic detachment rather makes it fun. You as the reader kind of have to do the work to find the evil ones, especially past book one.
Past book one, yes.
Book one, it's very obvious.
It's very obvious.
But past book one, you kind of have to do and they're
deducing.
Yeah, you have to be the one to kind of have to be the one to find it, which isn't, I don't think is like a bad thing. No. It doesn't mean it's not there. It's just that
that's not the story that she's really.
Yes. And also she starts playing a bit more with like the detachment of academia in general.
Yes.
Because you have all of these characters who like specialize in this field, which is referred to as dryadology.
Why don't you explain what this book is about?
Well, I did explain it.
Let's just give a brief overview. You're much better at me. Brief.
The brief overview is that this is told from the perspective of Emily Wilde, who is a dryadologist, meaning she studies the world of fairy. It takes place in the early 1900s. And again, it's from her perspective. It's from her journals.
And the fairy is an accepted thing.
Yeah, like, everybody knows about it.
This is just as like we're studying the forests of the Pacific Northwest.
Exactly. And there is a world of fairy. There are multiple worlds of fairy that exist alongside ours. They are not entirely inaccessible, but are also not accessible to the average person because it requires like research and finding a door and so on. And she has in book 1 an academic rival who follows her on this journey that she's doing to study the specific type of fairy that exists in what we might refer to as like Sweden. And he follows her up there and she's like, oh my God, I fucking hate this guy. Blah, 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 blah. His name is Wendell. He's actually a fairy. He's a dipshit.
I know he's a fairy.
And I would die for him.
Yeah.
So.
And he's like, oh, really? That's so interesting because I would die for you too.
Exactly. Oh, it's so good.
He just loves her so much.
He loves her so much.
So much.
And he wouldn't change a thing about her. No. Even though other people don't always like Emily. And she's
not always likable.
She's not always likable. She's perpetually offending people, in part because of the academic attachment that I love about her so much.
Yes. She'd probably let someone die if she could write a paper on it.
If she could write a good enough paper, she'd be like...
If it would serve the greter good of academia, she'd watch them die.
Yeah.
She'd feel bad.
She'd feel bad about it.
She'd feel bad.
Do it. So...
What could I do?
So... What was I going to say? What was I even saying?
It's basically about that. It's about...
This is... So sometimes these books are described as cozy. I wouldn't use that word myself, but this to me is cozy fiction.
Yeah.
This is the kind of cozy fiction that appeals to me, if it can be said to be cozy at all. And people are getting their necks snapped and fingers broke
and
fingers
forced
chewed off.
Into marriage with terrible, terrible fairies.
Yeah. Because I'm really there's conflict, first of all. That's important. There is conflict and there is scary conflict. And I find the protagonists just so enjoyable because Emily and Wendell share this sort of alienness to the world in very different ways. It's very easy for Wendell to just like get along with people.
He's a charmer.
And
he's fey. So like it's just fey. Even worse.
And Emily is this very like crotchety, not like standoffish, but like
she's cold.
Yeah. So
she has friends, though.
She does have friends. She does have friends
who love her.
Yeah, it's just.
But she also like saved them. So
yeah, and so that is more compelling to me than like your average. The way that cozy fiction is often billed as being like about really lovable people. I don't want to read about lovable people.
No,
I want to read about some fucking
unless
assholes.
You're watching off campus.
Well, I'm not watching.
You're gonna be
okay. I'm just gonna put a gun to my head and make me watch.
Gun to your head
off campus. But yeah. I love this series.
They're so good. I don't think like I would suggest it to everyone.
They're so much fun.
I think that like I don't know, they're just really fun and they're cute and they're like scary and it took a while to get into the third one. I'm still not done. Missy and I are reading at the same time. Have the same feelings about it.
I've been too fucking tired at night because I went to 3 concerts in 10 days. I'm crazy. 37 years old.
You didn't even really do that when we were in high school.
No.
Yeah, that's a lot. But yeah, I think these books are great. Missy's right. She was right. The books are great.
Right.
They're fun. If you like the dynamic of Howl and Sophie, but you want more... not that there's more romance, but it's just more overt. Like, it's just clear.
This is a book for adults.
Yeah, it's a book for adults. And there's no, like, open door sex or anything. But you know when they're having sex.
Oh, they make it very clear. They make it very clear that they have sex.
Let me show you.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
It's not... to use the common parlance, in any way, it's not spicy.
No, the spice level is 0.0001.
Yeah. But it is like they have sex. It's just they don't do it on the page.
Yeah.
And it's all about the dynamics.
Yeah. It's very good.
I finally read The Saga of the Swamp Thing, Volume 1, which is
You have been telling me that you have this to read for a while.
Yeah, which is written by Alan Moore and has art by Stephen Bissette and John Totleben.
It is surprising it took you this long to read that.
I know. And you know what? It fucking ruled. God damn. Alan Moore's just such a fucking good writer.
Wow, it's so weird. He's so good.
He's such a fucking good writer.
What if Alan Moore listened to our podcast? Wouldn't that
would be crazy? I would
Moore,
tell him to stop.
No, hit us up, Alan Moore. Give us that interview of just absolute nonsense.
I would be so down. So Swamp Thing, if you're not familiar with Swamp Thing, this is actually a great place to start. It's not the first Swamp Thing story, which I think is what a lot of people think it is. This is actually sort of a reintroduction of Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing was originally a man named Alec Holland who dies in a fiery explosion and like gets, I don't know, blasted into a swamp, and then he comes back as a swamp creature. In this, it's actually kind of a retcon. It is and isn't a retcon. Whatever came back is not Alec Holland. It's something new. And it is the swamp that thinks it's Alec Holland, sort of.
The swamp that thinks its thing.
Yep. The swamp that thinks its thing. And it's a series of stories, right? It's comics. It's a series of stories. There's some overarching plot. But what it really is about is like ecology, ecofascism.
Which you'll hear about more, right? In our Alien.
Yes, we will be talking, I'm sure ecofeminism.
Oh, ecofeminism.
I might talk about ecofascism. I don't know. But
you might. To be honest, you might.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I do love to talk about ecofascism. So
I'm not going to even get into it. Yes.
Don't even get into
it. Keep going.
It's also, I would say, one of the most beautifully designed comics in terms of how they use panels. We've talked about this, I think, in our Hellblazer and Sandman episodes about how reading older comics can sometimes be really difficult it can be hard to follow from box to box where you're supposed to go, especially when they play with like not using a standard comics grid. I did not have that issue in the slightest.
That's cool.
With Swamp Thing. They are beautifully designed pages, which if you don't read a lot of comics sounds like, what are you saying? But you fucking know it when you see it. This is some high level shit. It was beautifully done. It was thematically resonant. It was just a good ass comic. So I only read volume 1, which is not where John Constantine is introduced. So I have not gotten there yet.
So you still have something to look forward to.
I still have things to look forward to. I loved it. Yeah, I understand why this is such a well-regarded run. It's so fucking good. Agreed. 10 out of 10. We'll be picking up volume 2. It was just so good.
So you liked it?
I liked it. Sometimes you read comics and you're like, comics. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're not. And then sometimes you read Swamp Thing and you go, sometimes comics are fucking great, actually.
Sometimes they rule. I read... This is one of my favorite book series I've read. It's called Filthy Rich Fae. It is a mafia fae romance story.
Don't you love when somebody writes something for this? This is your kidney stealing book. This is your kidney theft.
I was like, I have to read this. I didn't think it was going to be good. Fucking amazing. I don't even remember what this book is about. I read it so long ago. It's about these rich assholes who are fae, and they run everything. And she, let me see if I can remember this correctly. She's a nurse in a hospital, and the town is like, people keep overdosing on a medication. It's supposed to be like fentanyl. And then she finds out that fairy exists, and he's like, I claim you. And I can't remember much else. To be honest, I can't remember much else. But I raced through the first one. The second one was too long of a wait to read it, but for some reason a much shorter wait to listen to it. So I was like, I guess I'll listen to it. I finished that thing in a day. It was so good, and it has essentially it's what if the mafia who were running the town were really bad fae? Like they're truly. I mean, they're the ones who have the drug, right? They're producing this drug. They're really bad. They're bad people. And she's like, how about I fuck with them the whole time? The only complaint, and I think it's a complaint other people have, is once they do get together, they she doesn't antagonize him enough, and that was really fun. It was really fun to watch her antagonize him. But there's a lot of political stuff going on. Faith, like, it's not even like they're mafia, but they're also Fae, and the Faith in the back. You know, they go to the Fae world. There's other Fae politics going on. There's twists. There's turns. This is probably one of my favorite series I've read of, like, this is when I was looking for, like, truly bad people, and this, I don't see this book mentioned a lot in these, like, read this, and everyone's wrong. It's just so, it has all the indulgence of, like, rich guy taking care of a girl, but also all the indulgence of the girl's a little bitch, and she's going to make his life as hard as possible, and so he will make hers as hard as possible as well. And, like, telling her she has to live in the Fae, like, she cannot, no matter what, she can go and she can leave, but once the sun goes down, she'll be teleported back into, like, the Fae world, and, like, eventually finds out that he's doing that because when she's in the Fae world, time passes slower as it does. And she finds out he's actually making so she will live longer and he won't have to be without her. And it's just like, it's just a horrible thing to do, but also like, oh, that's so sweet. She gets pissed and stuff, but it was just really good. I loved it. If I were to ever suggest a mafia romance to you, that would be it. That would be it. It was great. I loved it. The third one comes out in October, and I'm very excited.
Nice.
So,
the next one, both Mary and I did. We read "This Is How You Lose the Time War" by Amal and Max Gladdstone.
What a hard book.
I have read it before. Mary had not. This is I talked about it, I'm sure, when it came out ages and ages ago, which was, I think, 2019. Then, so it's a book. It is an epistolary novel, meaning it's told through letters, primarily through letters. And it is about two agents on opposing sides of the Time War.
Whatever that is.
It's not important. Red and Blue, who start leaving letters for one another for reasons that we're not immediately privy to. And over the course of the novel, they fall in love and also are still agents on opposing sides of the Time War. El-Mohtar is one of my favorite living writers. It's like her and like Carmen Maria Machado, and then like many other great writers also, but like it's like those two and then everybody else. And so I read this book as soon as it came out because I fucking love El-Mohtar's writing. And so the first time I read it, I was very focused on Blue's side of the story because Blue was written by El-Mohtar. This time I was really, really into Red's perspective. So I'm so glad I reread it. It turns out I find Red to be an immensely relatable character.
That makes sense.
So I don't have much to say that I don't think I already said about the book. It's beautifully written.
It's objectively beautifully written. Like, you can't get around it.
No.
It is like poetry.
Yeah.
Which is why it was so hard.
Yeah. I am not familiar with Max Gladstone's writing outside of his newsletter and this book. But El-Mohtar has like used to run a poetry magazine, and I think like started in poetry. Her work is very, very lyrical.
It was easier to read her stuff.
Yeah, and
I did find,
and
not much. But
yeah, the thing about this book is that you really have to.
You just have to give yourself over.
You completely have to give yourself over to it. You are along for Red and Blue's ride, and it doesn't matter if you understand it or not.
Which was hard for me.
Yeah,
it was really hard for me. It was a really hard book. I'm glad we did it for our book club. It was the first book we did for our book club, so I'm glad. I would have never been able to finish it otherwise. And I'm glad that we had like discussions on it and stuff. I don't know if it's a book I would go back to, but it's like I said, it was really hard. Yeah. It was not easy.
No, it's
so
not.
I said for our next book can't be hard, and boy did we choose a not hard one.
We chose a not hard one. So yeah, Mary and I started a book club with our friends, and so we're going to read more books together. However, I only want to talk about books that we like, so you may not hear about all of them,
like the next one,
because I don't love to dunk on a book the way sometimes I like to dunk on other media, because I work in book.
I work in book. Book writer. Me.
Yeah. But I still think This Is How You Lose the Time War is just, it's so beautiful. And there's nothing else like it. Like, it is truly a singular work. Yeah, it's beautiful. And I'm glad you read it, even though it was difficult
really
for you.
hard. It was hard for all of us.
Yeah.
It was not easy. But then the best part is we had our like end of the book like get together, and we made the most beautiful charcuterie, and we had a beautiful like discussion with
I made
food.
red and blue tea.
Yeah, it was
and then
great.
I got horrible food poisoning.
Not from the charcuterie.
Not from the
board.
charcuterie.
As much as Missy was like, we got to make sure that like the temperature, like Missy was like, I cannot get food poisoning. Our other friend Joey, they're like, it'll be fine. He's like, no, I cannot get food poisoning.
That very night, I was up all night barfing.
And you only just fully recovered like last week.
Yeah, I'm finally back to eating.
Yeah.
Like I can eat anything
Your
again.
pants got big.
I lost enough weight that like I can fit a fist inside of my
You
pants
went down
now.
a size.
Yeah.
But you were sick for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think it's salmonella that I've gotten twice now just based on my symptoms. Salmonella's a fucking bitch. Don't get salmonella.
Okay.
If you can avoid it, do not get salmonella.
I'll try
it
not
fucking
to.
sucks.
Okay.
Unrelated to This Is How You Lose the Time War. Don't get salmonella.
I think they would say the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe you can get a cure for
They
it.
can probably just cast it out of their bodies.
Well, maybe someone will help you and get go back in time and give you a cure. Wouldn't that be great?
Please.
Where's Josh when you need him? Why isn't he going back in time? Okay, this will be really quick because this is a warning. Missy's like, I don't want to dunk on a book. I'm about to dunk on a book.
You can dunk on whatever you want because this is not your like
That's true. I don't
aspiring field.
I work construction.
Yeah.
In a very different way. I read, because I got it on like Instagram was pushing this on me. It's called Hot for Hostage. Immediately. Okay. Picture of the front is one of those cartoon ones. She's in a cute little pink overalls with her pink hair, and there's a big mafia guy, and she's like, hotter dog. And I'm like, and they're in a ice cream shop. And I'm like, this is interesting. Read it. Girl steals the gun of a mafia guy and takes him as a hostage to help find her missing dog. I'm in. We're ready. Here we go. I've never
like that John Boyega tweet. Large hot dog.
Yes.
Damn Slurpee, damn it.
Yes. I'm ready. Horrible. I've never read a stupider person in my life. He's a mafia. She knows he's in the mafia. She knows that okay, so some kids come and keep breaking into the animal rescue place that she works in for some reason. Don't know why. Don't ever really find out why. They steal the dog. It's not her dog, but it's like the dog has never been adopted. It's been there for 3 years. It's essentially her dog. And she's like, I got to get my dog back. I know. I will. She goes over to the ice cream shop and they like own the ice cream shop and they're talking to like the guy who runs it. And she's like, oh, that's the guy that people said like he gets stuff done. Oh, I see his little underling's gun. I'm going to take it and point it at him and tell me to please help me find my dog. Okay, that sounds fun. And he's like, this is really cute and silly. I'm like, I'll play along with it. This is fun. Cool. She proceeds to be the dumbest fucking person in the world. He's in the mafia. He kills people. And he's like, oh, we gotta go help solve this rat problem. Oh, let me tell you how to get rid of rats. They're a pesky thing. Please stop. Anyways, it wasn't good. Did I finish it? Yes. I thought maybe it would get better. They do fuck in the animal rescue, which was pretty funny.
Mary told me that, and all I could think about was the fact that when it's time for my pets to be fed, they're all whining and crying at the same time. And I was like, I could not.
The dogs and people were all outside.
It's so annoying, all of the pets crying at the same time.
There were none in there. But yeah, it was not good. And I'm so upset because like cute girl with pink hair holds big mafia guy hostage to help find her dog. Sounds excellent.
Sure.
Sounds like so much fun. Not really.
I'm so sorry.
The sex was fine, I suppose.
Well,
but
there's always that.
But I'm like, how is she? I feel like she's not old enough for this.
Oh, God.
That's like how dumb she was at times. I'm like, what? Yeah, it wasn't good.
Thank you, Josh.
It's called Hot for Hostage. I don't suggest it. Unless you really love like the most naivest of naive women, then you will love it.
Okay.
He was not insufferable, except for his love for her. Because how?
I finally read Hellblazer Dead in America, which is the follow-up series to the I don't know, 2019, 2020 run of Hellblazer that I'd never stop talking about, by Simon Spurrier, Aditya Bidikar, Aaron Campbell, and Jordie Bellaire. It's not as good, in my opinion, as the first run, but it is still very fucking good. So it is a direct follow-up. It takes place maybe not that long after the original run wrapped up, and the original run wrapped up with Constantine essentially having damned his son Noah. He didn't want to, but you know, it happens. And also Constantine is now dead. Like, he's alive, he's running around, but his heart is not beating. Something is very wrong. They go to America for reasons, and are immediately met by a personification of something represented by a Girl Scout. And she's basically like, I'm fucking watching you. I'm watching you. He ends up, now this is poorly timed because this started coming out, I want to say in 2023 or 2024. It is still Sandman Universe Presents, which means we're immediately confronted with Morpheus. But the second Morpheus, this is, I believe, Daniel turned Morpheus, white Morpheus. And,
Morpheus. Whiteface.
Whiteface.
More.
So this is all in the first issue. Morpheus, if you read Sandman, Constantine appears in that series, and he has a bag of sand, or he had rather a bag of Dream sand that was stolen when Dream was imprisoned by what's his name. And the whole arc is about the fact that his ex, Constantine's ex, has this bag and is addicted to it, to using the Dream sand for getting high essentially, but also getting over Constantine treating her like shit. So in this, Dream reappears and is like, where's my sand? I need that sand back. And Constantine's like, I don't know where your fucking sand is. It's been like 40 years. What do you want from me? And he's like, you're going to help me find that sand. I know it's somewhere in America. So
this could be anywhere.
It could be anywhere. It's not anywhere. I mean, it is somewhere, but it is not just anywhere. It is in a very specific place. In much the same way that the first run was about something, but it was also about 25 other things. This is like that. This is a story about dreams. It takes place in America. It's about the American dream. It is about power, about class. It's about racism. It's about immigration. It's all there. It's all there. Much like, so the thing is that I think Spurrier is so fucking clever, and he's so good at writing a scheme. He's so good at writing a scheme, which is what makes him such a good writer of John Constantine. Is he's so good at scheming. The problem is that these schemes are so schemy that it takes me like 3 reads to understand what was going on. And I didn't actually reread the ending of this one 3 times because I wasn't reviewing it issue by issue. So reading the last 2 issues in particular, I was kind of like, what? I see the shape of what's happening here, but I don't get it. However, there was a twist. I think in like the 3rd to last episode that had me, if I was still recovering from food poisoning at the time. So I was in fact laying on the floor on my stomach reading because my stomach hurt really bad.
So you were laying on your stomach?
Yeah, it felt better to have some pressure on it. Had I had the energy, I would have been up hooting and hollering. I was so excited because of something that was, we'll say, reintroduced at that point. It made me so happy. But could I explain to you what happened at the end of the series? Absolutely not. Under no circumstances. I was very confused. Did I have a great fucking time anyway? Yes. Is Aaron Campbell a fucking master of drawing horror? Yes. Holy shit. What a beautiful fucking book.
Yeah, you sent pictures.
God damn, what a beautiful book. And again, I reviewed each issue of the first series, and like, it's all still true. Nobody's fucking doing colors like Jordie Bellaire. Nobody's doing letters like Aditya Bidikar.
It's what you deserve.
Like, holy fucking shit, it's so good. Again, I don't think it hit the same highs as the first series, and part of that is because I'm reading it in 2026 when I think it came out in 2024, and everything with, I think, Neil Gaiman happened in 2025. So like, I've got a year gap there where I've had some negative feelings simmering. So I have a visceral reaction now to seeing Morpheus. that isn't Spurrier's fault. He didn't do it. But it does. My feelings about that, it makes me angry to see.
I mean, that's very fair.
Especially because of how fucking much I love Sandman. Like, I fucking love Sandman. It's one of my favorite works of fiction, period.
Now we can never do it.
And now we can never do it because that
truly
fucko had to be the worst person.
Just the worst.
Just the worst.
I remember I thought Bob was joking.
Nope.
He's like, no, really, that's what he did.
Nope.
Like,
the allegations are that fucking bad. But he's not. Gaiman is not actually involved in this, aside from being the curator of this line. Like he didn't.
But it's fresh.
But it was still fresh when I was reading it, or not. It wasn't like super fresh, but it was.
It's only been.
It's tainted.
Couple years.
It's tainted. Like to me, seeing Sandman is tainted.
Yeah.
But still a really, really, again, really, really wonderful run. Spurrier is in my opinion, the best writer of Constantine as a character in the modern day. His dialogue is just so fucking good. It sounds like a person, you know? Like I feel not only Spurrier is British, which certainly helps. But I feel like Spurrier has probably left his home and heard how people talk before in a way that is heightened because it's a comic book, but is also like so true to life. Also, the side characters are so good. I would lay down my life for Nat. I would lay down my fucking life for her. Anything she asked me to do, I would do without batting an eye.
Good.
It doesn't matter what it is.
And you know what? You deserve that.
And I deserve that.
You deserve it.
Hellblazer.
Good.
Still good.
I read Love Me, Stalk Me.
Likely thing for you to do.
We went to the bookstore, our local bookstore. I saw it and it said, girl talks, it's texting and it's stalking. And I said,
that's you all over.
I'm in. It's about a guy who sees a girl. She has a really bad boyfriend. He sees her. He's like, I think I like that girl. And then he ends up being the tech guy. And he's not the tech guy. He's the security guy for the high-end retail store she works for. Think of like really rich and famous people go and they shop and they spend thousands of dollars. He's the security guy because they've been having thefts.
Like cyber security or like physical security? Okay.
All above. And he's like, I need your phone. Because he has to like a two-factor, you know, when you get a new security, for some reason she uses her personal phone, and he's like, her friend is like, you should use an AI companion, like they're great. Your boyfriend sucks. We all think you should break up with him.
Oh, okay, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, we all think you should break up with him. Use this AI boyfriend. You can have sex with him. It'll be great. It'll be perfect. And he's like, oh no, you won't. Let me see he doesn't say this in his head. He goes, no, she won't. He hacks it. And when she's talking to AI boyfriend, she's talking to him.
Oh my God.
And it proceeds to be excellent. This was one, Missy's like, oh, I just ate it up. I ate this up. This is my Thanksgiving dinner.
It's so funny. Mary and I are just such a funny pair of people. Mary, just yesterday, we were hanging out and Mary's like, I'm such a basic bitch. I have such basic bitch interests, blah, blah, blah. And then she describes a romance novel she's into and I'm like, okay. Yes, she loves Taylor Swift. Yes, she loves pumpkin spice. She also loves people impersonating chatbots
because they want to stalk. He also put like a personal tracking device on her phone and has complete access to her text messages.
Of course.
And you know what? It's a good thing he did because the boyfriend, she broke up with him.
The ends justify the means.
She clearly was like, they start like flirting and it's very cute and he's like ex-military and they make it very obvious she's not like this skinny little girl and she is consistently body shamed by her boyfriend and he like just shames her in front of all these people and finally she's like, I'm gonna break up with you, and he's like, no you're not, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, the boyfriend. And then he comes in, he saves her, and then turns out he's actually, this is huge spoilers, he's one of the people running the ring to steal stuff, and he steals her. And good thing he was stalking her.
Good thing.
Or they would have never found her, and she would be dead.
Wow.
So it was truly romantic. It was the safe thing to do. The friend, the absolutely ridiculous friend ends up like something happened to her in the past, and he's like, you can't come with me to save her. And she's like, yes, I can. I think the name of the chapter when that happens is like, she has a pink gun in her Gucci purse, because she does. And he's like, you've never even cleared a room. She's like, yes, I have. And he's like, okay. And the next book is about her, and I'm very excited. But this book was just like, it was just like, candy store.
Yeah.
Candy store.
This is catnip to you.
Yeah, this is my catnip. It was great. I mean, I love texting in a book. I don't know what it is. It's just one of those things where it's just like so fun. Yeah, so I had that. I even listened to it, and it's a little weird when you listen to text, and it was still great.
The important takeaway here is that somebody may call themselves a basic bitch, but you don't know what books they're reading.
This is so true. I may like off campus, but I also want like someone to stalk someone.
You want some depraved shit.
Yeah, I do, but I also want off campus.
Yeah.
I'm just a sucker for certain things, and some of those things are weirder than others.
Yes.
But I am a pretty basic bitch when it comes to a lot of things.
I don't think I'm a basic bitch in any way, but we are the depravity we are attracted to is different.
It is different. Some people say we're the same.
And they don't know.
They don't know.
I don't think anybody says that anymore.
No, I think that it's clear.
Because people know us.
Yeah, I think the thing is those people who said we're our friends were not actually our friends and didn't actually know us.
No. Once you actually know us, you're like, oh, those are two very different people with just enough overlap to...
We complement each other. Yeah, Missy hates an alpha man. I love it.
Yep.
It's just like we've completed a circle.
We complete each other.
We complete each other. We're the perfect circle.
We're Harry and Sally.
Perfect.
God, anyways, which of us is which?
I haven't watched it, so I don't know. Don't
Mary,
even look at me like that. Don't even look at me like that.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Where do I begin?
I
just told you I loved a book about stuff.
It's so good.
I actually think I have seen it, but I haven't actually like really watched it to say that I've seen it.
It's so good. Anyways,
loved it. Better than the hostage one. Loved it.
The last thing I read, but not the last thing we'll talk about, is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab, which is about lesbian vampires. You're welcome. That's all I have to say about it. Lesbian vampires. Now, it's, again, a multi-generational story, but not in the same family. You have basically three perspectives, sort of explaining how we got from point A to point B. There's a woman back in, I want to say, like 1500 Spain, who is very displeased with her position in life. She's a lesbian. And she has to be married off. She's married off to a cruel man. She ends up falling in love with somebody who she initially knows as the widow, or Sabine, who turns her into a vampire. And that's the way that she gets power in her life. When you live for over 500 years, in this universe in particular, you start to lose bits of what make you who you are.
I would imagine.
Not in a metaphorical sense, but also in a very literal sense, in that like pieces of your personality just start to disappear. So things that might have been true about, so Maria, she's named Maria, but she renames herself to Sabine after she kills Sabine. Pieces of her start to sort of disappear.
Pieces.
Yeah. The second major part of this story is about a character named Alice, who lives in 2019 modern era, who also a lesbian, goes to a party. She's pretty like shy. And she ends up meeting with a girl named Lottie. They spend one night together. Alice wakes up as a vampire and is like, what the fuck, Lottie?
Sucks.
What the fuck? And then she doesn't know who Lottie is. All she knows is that her name is Lottie and what she looks like. She didn't get her number. She didn't get anything. So she's trying to find Lottie and figure out why the fuck she did that and what she should know. Lottie, we learn primarily about in Act 3 of the book. So this is a mild spoiler. Lottie was turned by Sabine. So through Alice is created because of Sabine's actions, but we don't understand exactly how Sabine we understand some of Sabine, how Sabine gets to the way she is, but Lottie or Charlotte gives us more of the context.
I see.
V.E. Schwab, I haven't actually read a lot of V.E. Schwab. We did the series on the Darker Shade of Magic.
One of my favorite series.
Which which I loved.
So good.
But other than that, I haven't read, I don't think, anything else by
I've
her.
read
Addie LaRue.
Addie LaRue, and I've been wanting Missy to read it forever.
And I will.
It's excellent. Yeah, you will, because it's on our list.
Yeah, and it's
Book
on
club.
my bookshelf.
Yeah, it is excellent, and you will love it. Watch you hate it, and I'll be like, what are you
I don't think I'll hate it.
No.
But I mean, I
You'll
haven't.
love Henry. I love him so much, I remember his name.
He's your Michael Moskovitz.
Yes.
So yeah, I haven't read much of her. I haven't read much of her work. And there are some of her books that I've read the summaries and I'm like, I just don't think that one's for me, which is fine. But we're 2 for 2 now on me just really liking what she does. And this one is just like I said, I want to read about more mean women. And Sabine, that's a mean woman. That is a bitter, mean woman.
I think that I haven't read it yet, or I read part of it yesteryear. You'll probably like it because that's people's complaint.
Yeah.
She's not a good person.
I don't need women to be good people. In fiction, but I really enjoyed Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. If you like the thing is, I was so burned out on vampires for a while after doing Twilight and the Vampire Diaries on this fucking podcast, and then we
Still haven't finished Twilight.
Well, part of that's our fault. Part of it's that people were voting for other things on Patreon. Our fault part is that I've had to delay like 12 episodes this year 12 episodes. It's May. But I've had to delay several episodes because my life is constantly falling apart or I'm on vacation. Yeah. It's one or the other. So we have a whole bunch of episodes planned for this year, so I haven't been putting up polls yet. Anyway, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. If you like, I was so burned out on vampires until What We Do in the Shadows, which is such a like silly take on vampires, and then Interview with the Vampire, where I'm like, oh my god, we're so back, baby. Vampires are in. Vampires are sexy. Vampires are hot. Vampires are cool.
They're evil.
They're evil. This one too. We're so back, baby. Vampires are sexy. Vampires are evil. Vampires are cool. So if you like lesbians, if you like vampires,
here, I got some for you.
I got something for you, and it's Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil.
I'm not going to talk about Scream 7 because I don't have much to say.
Well, you did in the last episode. You say, "Oh, I watched Scream 7 last night," and I go, "How was it?" And you went, "It's fine."
That's why it wasn't in my list because that
was what you had to say about it.
Yeah, it was fine.
So let's talk about the drama.
The
drama. So the drama. We're just going to spoil it right off the bat. The thing with the drama is that the movie was marketed with whatever Zendaya's character, who's called Emma in the movie, whatever Emma did, and I'll give a broader plot summary. Whatever Emma did is like the plot is like the focus of this movie. And that's true. However, you find out what she did, or rather did not do, 20 minutes into the movie. So I'm just going to give you that as your spoiler warning. We're going to spoil the first 20 minutes and then maybe a bit more of the drama in order to talk about it as it deserves to be talked about. It's not as big of a spoiler as you would think based on how it's marketed. It's not actually that important. It is important to the story because it's like the catalyst, but it's also like, anyway, I'll explain. So, Emma, played by Zendaya, Charlie, played brilliantly by Robert Pattinson. Just such a fucking underrated actor. Like, as an actor, he's underrated. And as a voice actor in particular.
I feel like he's underrated by the general public, but not those who make movies.
Yes.
Because he is often casted in roles that he deserves.
Yes.
Yeah.
That make use of his talents.
Mm-hmm.
So, Zendaya, the movie opens with their meet cute. Which I would like to say right off the bat. Red fucking flag. Yeah, he apologizes. Doesn't mean it's not a red fucking flag. So Charlie approaches Emma. He sees her reading a book. He walks up to her and he's like, "Oh, I love that book. What a great book." Or something like that. I've been meaning to read it or something like that. Pretends he knows what book it is. Turns out she's deaf in one ear and didn't hear anything that he said.
He got a freebie.
So try it again.
A do-over.
Yeah, he gets a do-over. Again, pretends to have read this book that he has not read. And she's charmed by this. They go on a date later. He confesses, yeah, I didn't actually read that book. I fucking lied. And she finds this cute. Then we kind of flash forward and we learn that they are engaged. He's writing his wedding vows to her, or his speech. And they seem to have initially a sort of blissful rom-com life together. If you pay attention. It's pretty clear that they don't actually have that, but it turns out
I don't even think you need to pay attention.
the internet isn't very good at watching a movie because some of the takes...
They didn't watch the... I feel often we say, did we watch a different movie?
I think I'm constantly being Mandela affected.
Maybe.
Because some of the takes I see are absolutely bonkers, and we haven't even gotten to the quote unquote twist yet. So, if you watch kind of how they interact with one another, how they talk to one another, there's some tension. There's some not seeing eye to eye happening there. Eventually they're out doing like a menu tasting, wine tasting and menu tasting for their wedding, which is coming up very quickly. They are out with their friends. And it's clear too that this is not the waiter says, okay, you guys, you can't do this again, implying that they have already been through this at least once, probably several times, of indecision about what's going to happen at their wedding.
Taking forever.
Yes. So they are out with their friends who are also a couple, and the other couple says, this is something we did before we got married and we should all do it together. They're all tipsy to drunk. And the thing that they say that they're going to do is, what's the worst thing you've ever done? And I'm going to spoil all of them. The guy from the other couple says that when he was fighting with his girlfriend, they were in Mexico, a dog, like a wild dog, cornered them and he shoved his girlfriend in front of him so that she would get hurt.
And she did, right?
I don't think she got hurt.
No. Okay.
His was the least bad crime. And I will die on that hill.
No. Yeah, I think you're right. If she didn't get hurt, then yes.
The girl in that couple,
the worst one,
the worst of the bunch, went with a like maybe developmentally disabled kid from her neighborhood to an abandoned house, shut him in the closet, and left him there.
And had no like, oh, maybe I should go back or tell someone.
Nope. She didn't tell anybody. He went missing, and then
he was eventually found. We found him.
He was fine. It was just 24 hours later or whatever. She does not seem particularly remorseful about this.
No, she's clearly not. And you can see Zendaya's character is like, what? Like, she legit is like, I thought the drama was going to be she couldn't see her friend the same anymore.
Yeah. Robert Pattinson's character, Charlie, is so reluctant to volunteer anything.
He had to have done something worse. That was
I 100% believe he was fucking lying.
I do too.
He says that he may have cyberbullied somebody into having to move. He provides no details and lying. Basically says, I might have done that.
I that's what I got from it, of like, he didn't actually want to say it because I feel like he thinks at any point he could lose her.
Yes. And nobody wants to fumble Zendaya.
Truly. Truly.
And then we come to Zendaya, who, again, everybody is tipsy to drunk at this point. And she says that she planned but did not follow through on a school shooting. And this horrifies everybody, which, fair. I think the initial reaction of horror is so fair. It particularly affects the friend, who I think is named Rachel, if I remember correctly.
She seems like a Rachel.
She's played by one of the Haim sisters.
Yeah.
I'm just going to call her Rachel for the sake of my own ease. She's supposed to be the bridesmaid. Her boyfriend or her husband is supposed to be the best man. And Rachel is really horrified by this and tells Zendaya, you know, my cousin.
She was shot because she's paralyzed.
You know, my cousin experienced gun violence and you would do that. And it's like, well, she did that, or rather didn't do it decades ago, or a decade ago or so. But anyway, this causes Charlie a fucking crisis, which again, fair.
An absolute crisis.
Again, fair. Over time, we sort of see him pulling away from Emma and like trying to reconcile the person that he thought she was with the person he now believes her to be. And there's this big like question of, now that he knows this about her, is she the same person? Like, can he see her as the same person? However, what makes this movie enjoyable to me is the fact that Charlie then goes on to fuck up their entire relationship, to the point where he does several of the worst things he's ever done because he's so bent out of shape about what Zendaya's character did not do.
If there was if you wanted to watch a video of someone in crisis, you could watch this movie. He was in pure crisis mode.
Yeah.
And she's just like, what is happening?
Yeah, and it's not like she doesn't feel so. Part of an important piece of Zendaya's character story. There's two really important pieces, and so these are going to be spoilers, but they aren't going to spoil like the ultimate direction of the movie, but they are spoilers for the story. One, the reason she didn't go through with the school shooting was not that she had a change of heart. Well, she sort of did, but there was a mass shooting at a nearby mall the same day, and I think part of the appeal of performing a mass shooting is the notoriety, right?
Can't do it at the same time.
You can't do it at the same time because you're not going to get the notoriety you want. The other part of the equation...
And she was clearly, like, left alone often. So
yes.
That was...
The other part of the equation is that she then saw the grief.
Yes.
And the horror.
She was faced with the reality.
Exactly. So that's an important part of the puzzle.
And she becomes...
That's the thing is then because her reaction to this other shooting is so strong, somebody notices and invites her to participate in an anti-gun violence group. And she does.
Very funny. It's very funny.
It's very darkly funny. And because she now has this group to belong to when she'd previously been being bullied, because she has this group to belong to who welcomes her, who treats her well, she no longer has the urge to
She
perform
found community.
She found the community that she needed. Was it based on a lie initially? Yes, it was.
Was she gonna kill people?
Much like their fucking relationship.
Yep.
Based on a lie. That doesn't mean it ended badly. It just means that it was initially based on a lie. And again, it's a really interesting, to me, it's a really interesting question of, can we... What is the worst thing that somebody could do and you would forgive them for it? And
Steal
this
your
is
kidney.
As a person who thinks too much about my own morality and my capacity for love, don't worry. I've already had this conversation with myself deep in the night.
This is old news to
This
you.
is old news to me. I found this movie overall to be very darkly funny, very like thought-provoking. Like when we came out of the movie, we were all immediately like, okay, so what's the worst thing you've ever done?
Yeah. They have a good game for it that they were.
Yeah. And it turns out that within our immediate group, the worst thing most of us have ever done has been mean to another person.
Yeah.
Mine actually was not that.
I don't even remember.
I don't want to talk about it on the podcast.
That's fair. But I'm just saying I don't remember.
But we're
boring people.
Nobody in our friend group has
almost committed
any sort of mass shooting.
Yeah. That we know of.
But I do want to talk about the drama a bit. The drama of the drama, which...
People have no chill.
So there has been some backlash to the movie for, I would say, like, audiences, especially survivors of gun violence, felt that it downplayed the severity of gun violence. As a person who has never experienced gun violence or a mass shooting, but has experienced a mass panic event, I think they have every right to feel the way that they feel. I did not feel that it downplayed the severity. I can understand why somebody would feel that way, and they are entitled to feel the way that they feel. I do think it's a little bit disingenuous to say that it downplays the severity.
I think, because I wholeheartedly disagree, because I think that's baked into the humor.
Yes. And some people feel that it's not ever appropriate to laugh at something like that. And I'm like, I understand where you're coming from, but the humor isn't coming from the concept of a mass shooting.
No.
It's coming from the absurdity of things like trying to create your video and having your
restart
and having your internet going out. And it's just like, so it's like the sort of absurdity of being a human.
Yeah. She shoots a gun and it's so loud that's
how she lost her hearing. You assume because of the way the movie is set up that the thing that she's been lying about the whole time is that she's deaf in one ear. Yeah. But the thing that she's been lying about is, in fact, that she almost performed a mass shooting. So
and
again,
almost is even
she was going to, but
so she says.
It's hard, it's hard to know.
If you are that easily like, oh no, I saw someone sad, were you really gonna?
Well, the thing is, like, we can never know.
Yep.
Right?
That's right. You're right.
And that's part of, I think, what makes this movie so interesting is it asks the question of how little actually is needed to stop this kind of thing. you also have I don't need to talk about that. So again, while I do believe that anybody who watches this movie and feels that it was upsetting on the basis of depicting gun violence, especially if you've been personally impacted by gun violence, you're totally entitled to your feelings. Like, I can't say that you shouldn't feel that way. Of course, you're allowed to feel however you want to feel about it, or rather don't want to feel about it. I also feel that it's disingenuous to say this movie makes light of gun violence. I don't feel that that's what it was doing. Other people seem to feel differently, but that's how I feel.
Just because there are jokes made about the silliness of the things that she was doing.
Right. It's
still
me,
the worst thing she's done.
Yeah, to me, it did not feel like gun violence was the joke.
You don't even see any.
Yeah. The other piece of drama, and I suddenly forgot what it was. Shit. What was the other big piece of drama?
That the marketing?
Oh.
Was that what you were thinking of?
Oh, shit. There was, I will say, okay, we'll at least talk about the marketing. Another big piece here was that people felt that it was mismarketed as a rom-com, which I don't agree with at all.
Not in the slightest.
Again, I do feel like some of this is people wanting to see something and then being surprised when it isn't that. But like, me watching this trailer, I was like, oh, this is my shit. This is some dark shit.
I literally was like, I think this might be boring. It was great. And it was one of those movies that it was, you finish and you're like, that was good. And then you talk to me like, no, that was really good. And then a week later, you're like, hey, that was a really good movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I watched a video, and this was a video kind of in line with other things that I saw, that it was marketed as a straightforward romantic comedy, which it wasn't. If you look, I know asking for a crumb of thought from the internet is like asking for the fucking moon, but the staging on the posters is so clearly artificial. The tightness in their smiles is so clearly artificial.
The smile doesn't meet their eyes.
It's like one of those things where, like, yeah, okay, if you maybe if they were bad actors, you could think that that's the case, but they're
not bad actors.
The same thing I saw. This movie begins as a very optimistic rom-com. No, it fucking doesn't. It opens with a scene of
lie.
It opens with a lie, and then you have the pivotal scene to me. Like, you can get over a white lie like that. Like, you can get over that. But there's two important scenes before the I would say at least two really important scenes before the like big reveal of what's the worst thing you've ever done. One being where they are rehearsing their first dance together. And I turned to my husband, I think I turned to Mary, and I was like, I would totally do this because I don't want to look foolish on the dance floor. And Charlie really wants this because he doesn't want to look foolish on the dance floor. And Emma's like, I don't even know why we're doing this. We're supposed to be having fun. Why would you rehearse having fun?
Yeah.
And that exchange, especially how angry they get at each other.
And annoyed.
Yeah. It's kind of, you can see how much of their relationship is performance. And then there's another very important scene where they think they see their wedding DJ smoking heroin.
That's right.
At a party. I think it's heroin.
It's not a party. It's on the street.
It's on the street. She seems to be outside of a party.
Heroin or crack.
She's smoking a hard drug. And they have this like kind of tense standoff about what do they do? Do they do anything? Does it matter if their wedding DJ smokes crack or heroin or whatever? Does it matter? Do they have to do anything? Do they still want her as their wedding DJ? And again, it's they're having this argument about, we're seeing somebody at potentially the lowest point in their life.
Not sure if it's even them.
Not even sure if it's them. What do we do? So the thing, I'm just reading myself getting very angry. So this video that I watched again was saying like it was saccharin, that like, I don't know. It's just
everything about like so much of the criticism about this movie was so disingenuous. And I don't know why. Like, I don't know. That's what's confusing to me of like, was this a case of like, I want to be the one to call it problematic? I want to be the first one to call it out. Was this, I don't understand why people were so intent on saying this movie lied.
I agree. The one criticism that I do think is fair, and they discussed this on Pop Culture Happy Hour, the NPR podcast. They did a spoiler review of of the drama. And I thought this is a really salient point. Very lightly does the movie touch on race whatsoever. Zendaya has said, they talked about this on Pop Culture Happy Hour, that she is very particular about what role she takes because she is a light-skinned Black woman. And
she was bullied out of that one role, Aliyah.
Yeah. And she doesn't want to take roles that would be better served by a darker skinned Black woman. So this role almost certainly was written race blind.
I'm pretty sure that they said that it was.
Yeah. So Zendaya's casting in the film did not impact the direction of the story. So you have a black teenage girl in that particular point, potentially about to do a mass shooting, which does not match the demographics of the typical mass shooting. They do touch on the demographics of the typical mass shooter, with Zendaya's character Emma pointing out, like, actually some mass shootings have been perpetrated by women. I don't think she talks about race specifically. You also have the fact that her father in the movie he was in the military. Yeah, he was in the military. And again, they don't talk about race I wish they would have. I think that would have added, not like made the whole movie about race, but to have a dimension.
I thought I saw something about the creator saying when they casted her, they had to take that into account. I thought
maybe they removed something, because I don't feel that they added anything. But then again, I haven't seen the movie now in like a month, so
let's see if I can find. Maybe I just saw someone talking.
I think that it would have been a more interesting movie if like, for example, if we had dealt with Rachel, or whatever her name is, Rebecca, I don't know, if we had dealt with her response from a race perspective, you know what I mean? If there had been some consideration about what a black teenage girl how a black teenage girl with a gun is received versus a white teenage girl with a gun, right? Because I think we know how that would be handled. That I do think is a missed opportunity. I also think that this film director is maybe not the best one to go for it. Also, I will very briefly address the drama, which is that a article or something that the creator wrote defending like large age gap relationships or whatever. Especially with teenagers, resurfaced. I read that and it reads as pretty clearly satire to me. Yeah. I understand that not everybody reads it that way, but like saying, I'm not going to trust my friends, I'm going to trust Woody Allen. That reeks of satire to me.
Yeah.
And it honestly, with the way that the drama progresses, it is that kind of humor. Yeah. Like it's absurd dark humor.
I couldn't find anything saying that they had to take that into account. So maybe I just saw someone saying that, but I know that I did see someone saying that Zendaya actively works to take white women's roles.
Well, good for her. The thing with this is it just felt like there's a lot of disingenuous readings of the movie, and I don't know what the goal of that is, other than that people
could it be racism?
I mean, that's certainly a factor.
Could it be racism?
But it's so interesting because Zendaya is like so beloved.
Yeah, I don't know. It is the only thing I can think of is that people were upset it wasn't what they thought it was.
I think that might be what it is.
So they had to be the wokest person in the room.
The people are yearning for rom-coms, and I'm among them.
That's fair. And like we do not, like, there's been I've seen a lot of think pieces about how we don't get the rom-coms that we used to and why that is, and all these kinds of things. And the way that we're getting them now is very different. And so like, I understand that.
Yeah.
This wasn't that movie though.
It did, not to spoil the ending, but it does have kind of a rom-com ending to me. It does. In a way that is a little bit difficult to watch. Like, I found it a little uncomfortable, but I also, the more I thought about it, the more I liked it.
I like that. I think that was intentional.
I agree. It was,
and I think
it was the one moment in the film where they weren't performing for somebody.
Yeah, even though it was so stereotypical.
It was the one
moment. It's a good movie
where they weren't performing.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, I really loved it. And again, I understand that there are legitimate reasons not to enjoy it, but please don't let internet bad faith readings color this, because I genuinely do think it's a really good movie, and it's a really
thought-provoking.
It's thought-provoking. It's interesting, and we should talk about the worst things we've ever done with other people, and I think about what you're willing to put up with. Because let me tell you, I would have dropped Rachel like a fucking hot potato.
Yeah, she was a bad person.
That's a level of cruelty that
she was a really bad person.
yeah. And I would struggle with what Zendaya did not do. I would struggle with that, but I also would be like, okay, who are you now? Who were you then? What has changed? Let's go to couples therapy.
But I also think like I don't think this movie is necessarily meant to put you in its place. It's meant to tell the story of like, we have these like, because the funny thing is like you go through all this and she gets the most hate, but she's the only one that didn't do the thing.
She's the only one who didn't do it.
She didn't do the thing.
Yeah.
And I think that like that having that is really important to like recognize. And if you were in that situation, it would be hard to recognize. So I feel like this movie is a movie to be watched.
Yes.
A to be watchedness.
as Mulvey would put it. I do think that, shit, I lost my...
You're losing it
I'm
today.
losing it today.
It's the sun.
It's the sun. It's Sunday.
It's Sunday. You're a vampire.
I'm a vampire.
Yeah.
Oh, I think a lot of people are going to want to default to saying this is a movie about like cancel culture or something like that. And I don't like it's to me it's like clearly informed by that idea that like some things are so bad that you can never recover from, which is obviously challenged by the fact that she didn't actually do it. But I also think that this is a movie about how much we let other people intrude on our thoughts and opinions, and watching this movie become the subject of letting other people intrude on your thoughts and opinions makes it a fascinating microcosm. And yeah, I thought it was really good.
It was good. It was definitely one of those movies like, that was good. And then the next day was like, yeah. And then a week later, that was really good.
Yeah. Unlike, and just very briefly, I saw Mother Mary. That was not a good movie.
That's such a disappointment.
It was so beautiful visually, and it had a lot of really interesting ideas, but it was not good.
Yeah, I heard a lot about it before it came out, and then suddenly I heard nothing.
Yeah, it was not good. There are ways that it could have been good. It was beautifully acted. It was beautifully staged. It was like, there was a lot of really interesting stuff happening in there. It was not good.
Bummer. Glad I didn't go.
Yeah, but that's all I have to say about that. I think you would have there's a lot to enjoy while watching it. It's just not good. And you know I like a movie that isn't good but is enjoyable to watch.
This is true.
Wuthering Heights.
Sucker
Punch. Do you have anything else to say?
No, I think we've said a lot.
2:18.
That's like a normal episode.
Not bad.
To be honest, but we didn't do everything.
No. So that's it for this episode. You can find us online at fakegeekgirlscast.com, which has all of our previous episodes. If you like this podcast, consider leaving us a review on your podcast service of choice. However you listen to a podcast, go ahead and give us 5 stars. Nothing else. 5 stars. Best podcast you've ever heard in your life. Missy and Mary are the most brilliant people ever to live.
Perfection.
Otherwise, we don't want to hear about it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care. I do. When I read bad reviews of our podcast, I resolve to do better. Because I'm normal and I have a normal reaction to things. It's not. Next time, we're going to be talking about A Wind in the Door, the second book in the Time Quartet/Quintet by Madeleine L'Engle. What a good book.
I'm going to listen to it on a plane.
Nice.
Or at a beach.
Sick. And after that, we're going to be doing the continuation of the Alien films as well as Alien New Earth. I think that we are timed out pretty perfectly so that we won't have to take another break, but I will be traveling in July.
No crisis.
Yeah, everybody cross your fingers, pray for me that I won't have another crisis.
Or me.
Or Mary.
But I've been okay.
I'm in the fucking trenches. I'm in the fucking trenches. Every week it's something. I'm either barfing uncontrollably, somebody's having a health emergency, my cat is dying, like another kind of emergency. It's bananas. I don't know what's wrong over here. But I'm in the fucking trenches.
We need to sage you with lavender.
We can I'll use the incense on me next time. I'm going to cut it from the episode, but my cat did take like an evil shit in the middle of recording this.
It was bad, but it got okay.
Yeah. He took an evil shit and I grabbed some incense and waved it around the litter box.
It's better, so maybe you should.
Yeah, maybe that's what I need to do myself. So everybody cross your fingers that I will, neither Mary nor I will experience any crises.
You should hire an Etsy witch.
I should hire an Etsy witch to fix me.
You should. They got the Mariners almost to the
but the thing is now the market's saturated because everybody wants to get it. You can't tell the bad witch, the like useless Etsy witches from the good ones.
So
there's a lot of hucksters out
there's
there.
a really
There were all good and normal and real Etsy witches, and now it's full of hucksters.
Well, you can get an app that will show you like fake reviews on Amazon. I bet you there's a fake Etsy witch review app.
The fake Etsy witch review app.
Yeah. Take a look for that.
Yeah, sure. I've got my hex breaker to use when December rolls around.
Perfect.
But we might need to buy a couple more of those and just use them once a day, maybe. we're gonna get rid of this fucking hex.
Can get those on Etsy, right? She sells those on Etsy.
She might sell them. There's a little paper in there too, but I can't open it until December. The semi-famous hex breaker by Pam Wishbow. Feeling unlucky, cursed, everything going wrong, break that hex with a genuine hex breaker.
Why does it have to be December?
Because that's usually when things go really wrong.
Oh, yeah, just get another one.
That's true. Just order it. I'm just okay.
Yeah,
maybe I'll do that tomorrow.
I fixed you.
You fixed me. That's it.
All right. Catch you on the flip side.